There is a chronic pain epidemic in this country right now. And with 1.1 million personal trainers, 250,000 physical therapists, 70,000 chiropractors, 27,000 orthopedists, and 175,000 sports medicine doctors, it is not being solved. There is no shortage of institution that is designed to help people who are dealing with chronic pain. And there are two broad camps of those people. The first are people who are going to be told, your best days are behind you, this is as good as it gets. And they're going to say, that sucks. All right, what pills do I take? There are other people who are saying, I need to talk to someone else because that's an unacceptable answer. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So for the past 12 years, we have been trying to figure out institutionally, systemically, all the way through, what doesn't happen right now that needs to happen broadly, and how can we solve that? Because frankly, no one else is.
Absolutely. And so when you're looking at it, there are the people who something happens to them. They have some kind of limitation, some kind of pain. They go through the medical system for the most part and end up with graduating that program to a state of non-resolution. They've seen some help. They've gotten a little bit further, and they still can't live the life that they want to live. And there is a really big space between that point in their life and being able to just jump back into the fitness arena where they can go to a general class or work with a personal trainer to help them, PR their 5K time. Like, there's just this really, really big gray space. And like you said, most people are being told this is as good as it gets. So let's just medicate you with Tylenol or whatever to get you through the day. And I would even say some people in that camp, they're just saying, okay, this is what someone I trust, someone in an esteemed profession is telling me, so I trust them, and this is what I'm going to believe. I don't have another choice. And there's some people in that camp who, if they're educated and aware that there is a better solution, I think they would leave that camp.
I would agree. I would also, before we zoom back out and you cast vision for who we are and where we're going, where this whole thing is going, I want to zoom in a little bit more. Tylenol, all other painkillers, orthotics for your feet, crutches, don't do this, do that, stick to elliptical. All of these things can either be permanent hampering of the life that you live or tools that allow you to move forward if the person knows how to curate and use these as tools to move you to the next thing. I am not against painkillers. I would say probably 2 or 3 times a year I might take them for something that isn't like an injury or whatever it is, right? Sure. It's a tool, especially if it's going to like help you sleep.
Yeah.
But it is not going to be a part of how you live your life. Yeah. And there aren't a lot of people that are equipped to both tell you what drug to take and coach you through the process by which you can eventually get off of it because you don't need it anymore.
Sure. I mean, any modification, a back brace, using ice, using heat,
100%.
all of those things, like when that becomes a permanent part of your life, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this being something that's a bridge to help you get back to the life that you want.
So when we talk about the vision of active life, it's a world in which people understand that chronic pain is a choice. Living with chronic pain is a choice.
Correct.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
So right now, there are people out there who are living in chronic pain and they believe they've exhausted all of their options. They've probably tried 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different things, some really, really extreme things or some more moderate things. And like, this is just how it is. I have to live with this. I can't play volleyball anymore. I'm not the parent who can throw their kid up in the air or jump on the monkey bars or whatever. And they just believe that's how it is. And then, like you said, there are other people who just in the back of their mind are like, I'm hoping that there's something else and I'm going to keep trying things until I find things. And if everyone can just understand there is a different path to having chronic pain and resolving that chronic pain and living with it differently, then that is a huge step in the direction of what is it, 55 million people in America, changing how they live their lives. Now, not all of them are the people who want to seek out and do the work, but
even if we say 50% of them are,
sure,
that's a lot of people.
it's a lot of people who are currently living in pain, thinking this is as good as it gets, compromising on the rest of their life. So for us, the vision, if we look at it and zoom out and we say, if people just understand that they have a choice, that is the biggest first step we can take. And so then if you go to the next level, it's like, all right, I understand I have a choice. Now what? Well, if you work with the right kind of professional, they can actually help you resolve your chronic pain completely, as opposed to getting some relief from some of those modifications or going through physical therapy and graduating physical therapy. And then what? So if they understand there actually is something in that big gray space between, for example, this isn't everybody, but graduating physical therapy and going back to a group fitness class, like if they understand there's something they can do there to actually bridge that gap, if they want to go all the way to the other side, then they'll be able to take action. And the world is a drastically different place if you have 25 or
27 million people.
27 million people not living in chronic pain anymore.
Before you expand that, there is one thing that I believe is critical to make clear to help distinguish the kind of person we're talking about. As you are talking about, there is something that you can do to resolve your chronic pain completely. I think that many people often think about getting out of pain as something that is going to be done to you. You are going to receive massage. You are going to receive injections. You are going to receive a medication. There is something that is going to be done to your body to eliminate the sensation of pain. That is not what we're talking about.
No.
In chronic pain resolution, what we're talking about is you being an active agent, an active participant in doing the things that will create long-term adaptations in your body that would make it so that you would feel better and function at a higher level going forward. These are adaptations to your body that need to be created by you doing work physically with your body. And of course, your mind and curating your environment and the way that you talk and the things that you allow yourself to be exposed to physically, socially, in other words. The point is, the body needs to change for the body to change. And the symptoms are the symptom. By definition of the word symptom, it is a downstream effect of an upstream problem. Resolving pain long term for the person who does not want to be relegated to all of the medication needs to make long-term adaptations to their body to solve the upstream problem. And I want to make sure that that's clear, because the only kind of client that's going to be a good client long-term for the practitioner that wants to do this is someone who's ready to make the physical adaptations. And the only kind of person who's going to have their chronic pain resolved is someone who is ready to do the physical things that will require that.
I fully agree. And I do think it is probably just as much mental and emotional as it is physical. And that is a lot of active work that you have to do.
It's work, period.
100%. This is not something that happens to you.
So as you talk more about what it looks like and the demand, I would love for you to zoom back out and help us better understand that.
Yeah, so there are so many people who aren't being helped, who could be helped. And what you just talked about here is something that theoretically, if someone had the education in front of them, they could go and try to resolve their chronic pain on their own. And there are probably people out there who could do it successfully. But I would look at that and say that's such a small amount of people who could do it on their own without the help of somebody else. And even the most educated, best professionals that we work with have also worked with a professional to resolve their own chronic pain or their own limitations, because it's easier to have someone else guide you. It removes the bias of what you may do for yourself. And it gives you the plan to make sure you understand that you're doing the right thing to resolve your chronic pain. So at this point, we have so many people who need their chronic pain resolved, who want their chronic pain resolved. They want to be told, hey, this is a choice. You actually don't have to live this way. And there are not enough professionals who can help. And you opened this talking about all of the medical professionals and the people out there who touch on and are a part of a chronic pain journey, but they are not essentially the last piece of a chronic pain journey. When we work with people, when our active life professionals work with somebody, most times that client has already seen medical professionals. Sometimes the medical professional didn't do a good job. A lot of the times the medical professional did exactly what they were supposed to, and they just got to the end of their scope.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I think it's important to understand that medical professionals have an end to their scope too.
Yes.
We often hear a preoccupation with fitness professionals staying within their scope, and we agree. Mm-hmm. But we don't often hear a conversation about the end of the medical professional scope, and there is one.
Absolutely. I mean, a doctor, a physical therapist, they only have so much time with a patient. They are not supposed to do all of the things that we believe the active life professional can do after they are through essentially with that medical part of their journey. And that it's not a knock on the medical professional. And if you have a good medical professional, they want someone to refer to who can take their patient and turn them into a client who is now on the rest of their chronic pain journey. And that this is where it gets resolved. I would bet that most medical professionals, physical therapists, chiropractors, sports medicine doctors, they don't want to just discharge the patient and be like, well, I hope it goes okay.
No, they're frustrated by it because they know what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
They're hamstrung.
Yes.
They're doing the best they can within the constraints of their system.
Yes. And so I was talking on 2 occasions within 1 week, I was talking to physical therapists in my town. We don't currently have an active life professional in our town. Hopefully we will have one soon. And both of those who know me know that I work for Active Life. And obviously I'm talking about this all the time, so they understand the difference in scope, and we have really great conversations. They both said to me, man, I would really love to have an active life professional in my clinic, because the off-ramp after physical therapy, I don't want this person to go out and end up coming back 6 months later because they don't know how to ease back into it.
Also, the number one predictor of needing physical therapy is having had attended physical therapy.
Correct. Yes. And that's frustrating for them. Like, that's not the business model that they want to have. They actually want to help people get all the way back to their active lives. They want to help them get back to surfing and playing volleyball and pickleball and running around and playing with their kids.
Mm-hmm. So right now our plan is working. There's a lot of proof of concept. What's the rest of the plan from here? Where are we going and how are we going about doing this?
Yeah, so there are 2 things that we are very fully focused on. And if you think about active life, we essentially have 2 companies. We have our consulting company where we teach and educate professionals to become active life professionals. Like, the goal there, mass amounts of people coming in being certified as an active life professional. The other company is our brick and mortar locations. We have our flagship location. We're opening a second location in Port Washington, New York. Like, we are starting that process. And we want to continue to open brick and mortar locations because we know that we can prove this is the best of the best that it's ever going to be. We want to employ active life professionals that we're certifying. And for us, we'll be able to continue to make those small innovations that eventually make its way back into the curriculum. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of a research and development arm, but it's also, let's put our print all across the map and have active life locations broadly enough, and then fill in the rest of the gaps with active life professionals who are their own business owners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when we think about what starts to change, what starts to become obvious as this works more and more and more, what are some of the biggest changes that people see with respect to what is different about their participation in our system versus how it's been? What is different for what they do, and what is different for what they can expect to happen as they go through it?
You're talking about
the end user, the person who wants to get out of pain.
Okay. So they are going to find that they have much more one-on-one personal attention When you sit and talk to a doctor, you get 8 minutes is the average. Even when you're in physical therapy, they're typically running more than one patient at a time. And
so even if you're there for an hour, you're getting 20 minutes.
Right. And it's just they have too much to do. So it's not something where they're going to be spending as much time as you as even they want to. Like, that's just not how their business model works, how they have to bill for things and whatnot. So you're going to get more personal attention. You are going to get a very, very, very prescriptive, individualized approach, not only for your exercise needs, your physical needs, but also your mental mindset needs. And then you're going to be educated on why you're doing this so that you understand long into your life after what to do when something happens. So like a great example of that is understanding setbacks.
Well, this is true autonomy that you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes, we are truly trying to make sure that you get to the end of your journey with an active life professional and you can say, I know exactly what I need to do for, like, I feel really great. I know that I might have a hiccup down the road. I could probably figure that out by myself. Yeah. And maybe you want someone to continue to guide you, but you don't need them to continue to guide you.
The way I see it, and I've already seen a couple of these, someone who matriculates through all of the required education that we give our clients is someone who by the end of their journey, when they're free of all of this, they understand as much as a novice fitness professional on how they need to be taking care of themselves. They can educate others on what they need to be doing and how to make smart decisions for themselves. That's impressive in my opinion. Yes. And I think that if everyone has basic information on, how they need to pay their bills. Everyone has basic information on how to shop for groceries and cook and all this and maintain this. Some people understand their taxes and their finance. But if we can understand, if the average person can understand how to make smart decisions to at worst maintain where they're at in the same way a novice fitness professional does, this is a different planet.
Absolutely. And they need that because otherwise they're just going to feel helpless and that the problem actually hasn't been fixed. And you can't have someone with you 24 hours a day. So if you are in the gym going through your program with an active life professional and you're like, you know what, my knee feels a little funny when I'm doing this movement, and you talk through it and you figure it out and you're like, is this actually okay or not? Do I keep going or not? That's great if you have someone in front of you who's helping you, but then you're going to go up the stairs 3 hours later and the same feeling's going to come up.
Yep.
And if you don't understand that, hey, this is fine. You're not causing permanent damage going up and down the stairs right now. Here's how we can tweak it. Like, if you don't understand that, you're going to live in this fear and stress environment. You're going to end up back in physical therapy. Like, there's going to be all of these cascading things that happen if you never learn and understand why are we doing what we're doing and how to mitigate things outside of the gym, and also understand that like most things are not a catastrophe. And I think that's a really, really big part of people's pain journey is understanding that pain, a lot of pain is mental. Most pain, all pain is mental, right? And so if you can understand it better, then really your whole life changes.
Yeah, and ultimately this idea that there are a lot of people who want freedom from those pain cycles. There are people that want true physical freedom. And the fact of the matter is that there is not broadly a population of professionals that are resolving it and educating clients to be resolved long term.
Correct. And so I talked about us opening brick and mortar locations. We're opening our second, and our biggest roadblock to opening our third and fourth and fifth and sixth is not having enough certified active life professionals. It's a long curriculum because we have so much to teach to make sure that this professional is actually resolving chronic pain. Yep. It is not enough for us to get a Band-Aid fix. It is not enough for us to get a win. Most clients' first win is not the end of the road. Yep. Like after that win, they're more likely to have a setback.
Sure.
And so we have to be able to get them through the win, the setback, then the win, and just go through that journey. And so I lost my train of thought of where I was going with that.
Well, you were describing that the curriculum is robust and it's not going to be a cheap, fast, or easy thing to help someone learn a couple of tips and tricks.
Right.
And it's someone who needs to be serious about this.
100%. And so our roadblock in opening the brick and mortar locations is if we're going to open one and we have a 13-month curriculum, sure, we can get someone through it faster if we put them in our environment and we're like, hey, you're actually going to do double the amount of education time than we would normally tell a student. But it's still a hurdle. So for us, as we are at one location open right now, the next one opening in 2026, the more active life professionals we can get into the pipeline for us to be able to hire from, the better. We'll be able to open more. We'll be able to fill the map, essentially, of where people can get help. And right now, like I said, we don't have an active life professional in my town. I hope that we have one soon.
So do other clinicians.
Yeah.
They hope you have one soon.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, I had 2 clinicians in our town saying, I want one in our clinic. And that barely scratches the surface of how many people could get helped. We're talking about 20 people at a time getting helped in a town of tens of thousands of people.
Yep. Mary, I appreciate you walking us through this. It was helpful.
Thanks, Larry.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Active Life podcast. If you did, please head to wherever you listen and leave us that 5-star rating. It really does go a long way. 5 stars goes a long way. Please leave them. If you're interested in working with us as a coach, remember, we help coaches from around the world build fulfilling careers, working with clients they're inspired to help so they never have to worry about being able to pay your bills again. No one's ever going to ask you if you're going to get a real job when you work with Active Life. All you have to do, head into the show notes, click the link that you find there, download our curriculum. That will give you a feel for what it is going to take for you to be successful. A team member of ours will reach out to you to find out if it's a fit for us to work together. Until the next show, turn pro.